This week on Outside the Box, we talk Masters. Bubba Watson won his very first major. He's a lefty. He did it without a single lesson, and he's also a graduate of UGA. The Atlanta Braves have picked up their first 2 wins, and it's thanks to Chipper Jones' resurgence into their lineup. Bobby Petrino and the Arkansas University, and some controversy, as well as Baylor women's and basketball team, and then Kennesaw State golf team won a couple of tournaments this week. So keep it here. You're about to go outside the box. One of the most historic tournaments in golf, and it happens right down the street in Augusta, Georgia. It happened last weekend, and on Sunday, Bubba Watson claimed his very first major. He's a lefty, guys. He has never had a single golf lesson in his life, and he won the Masters.
Pretty phenomenal when you think about that. Never had a lesson in his career.
Never.
All these professional golfers, how many different guys do they look to have their techniques changed a little bit, and Bubba Watson just going out there, freestyling it, winning the Masters. Best tournament in all of golf.
It really is the best tournament in all of golf. People come from all around to go to that tournament. And the way he won it, it was just phenomenal. Okay, he and Louis Oosthuizen of South Africa, they're in a playoff for the Masters tournament. And Bubba Watson is stuck in the woods. You can barely see the hole from where he is, and he curves it. He curves it around the woods, goes within 15 feet of the hole, and then boom, puts it in, wins the Masters. It's scripted. You can't script it any better. And Oosthuizen, the opponent, actually said, where I stood from, the ball came out, it looked like a curveball. It literally did. It curved. It was an unbelievable shot, and Bubba Watson out of Baghdad, Florida. Has anybody ever heard of Baghdad, Florida?
Does not sound
We've
like
heard of the other
place.
Baghdad, but yeah, not Baghdad, Florida for sure.
I googled it. Baghdad, Florida is in the peninsula.
Okay.
Not too
well,
far
South
from
Florida, right?
No, it's I'm sorry, not in the Panhandle.
Okay.
The Panhandle.
The Panhandle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bubba Watson also, guys, UGA graduate. He's a Bulldog.
Yeah.
He actually led them to a SEC championship back in 2000.
Without a lesson.
Without a lesson.
Without
that
one
makes him
lesson.
so much more appreciated.
And on top of that, the week before, he and his wife adopted a brand new daughter, Angie. He and his wife Angie adopted a brand new daughter, and it was Jim Nantz actually asked him after the interview when they put the green jacket on him, which is what you get when you win the Masters, obviously. He asked, have you ever gone this far in his dreams? And he's like, it's really not a dream come true, because every time I dream, I've never gone this far. So it's just a historic milestone for him, and just congratulations. A better guy couldn't have won it either.
I was about to say, he seems like a really good guy, so that's exciting. After a frustrating start of 0-4, the worst record since 1988, the Braves finally won their first game on Tuesday after none other than Chipper Jones comes back into the game, coming off of an injury, hits a home run. It's like
Larry Wayne, he comes home. He always plays great in Houston. He has one of the best averages, 400, playing at Minute Maid Park. And he did it in front of his parents. As his parents, his dad is his hitting coach. He has not hidden that through his entire career. And he did it in front of the hometown crowd, so to speak. And he did it in historic fashion. He hit a home run, and he couldn't even conceal that childlike smile when he was running to the dugout. It was just great to see Chipper back in the lineup, and that's really just the difference he can make in a Braves lineup.
Well, the interesting thing is that you said he played in front of his parents. Every time he's at Houston, his parents come to the games, and they're looking towards, seeing their son, and you saw his dad's reaction when he hit that home run. He was going nuts, pumping his fist out there for him. And Chipper comes back just a couple weeks off of injury and looks, incredible shape out there. Made a great play on Jordan Schaefer, the ex-Brave, when he bunted, tested him to see how his injury was. Threw him out at first like it was no problem, the old Chipper.
I've said it before, he can barehand it like the best of anyone down that third base line. And, yeah, he did it in front. And, you saw what else the lineup did, too. Jason Hayward has awoken from a little bit of a slump, his sophomore slump. He's hitting great as the Braves pick up their second win last night in Houston.
Yes.
And they got a little bit of momentum coming into the opening day, home opener, I beg your pardon, tomorrow night. And Jair Jurgens will be on the mound, so that's going to be a big night. Chipper in the lineup, Hayward, McCann will be back. It's I'm excited.
We can't forget about Tyler Pasternak either, hitting his own home run. His first in the big leagues. And so that's very impressive, too, on his part.
I think everyone's feeding off the fact that Chipper is still the leader of this team.
Oh, yeah.
He's that last piece from those teams in the 90s. Everyone loves Chipper in that organization. And the fact that he's in that lineup, it makes a huge difference for their confidence out there. Guys like Pasternak getting to play right next to Chipper, a Hall of Famer to be. It's really a big difference, and they're about to play Milwaukee, who's 4-2, and they're one of the best teams in baseball. So I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do this weekend coming home with their first home series. Baylor's women's and men's basketball have a 3-year probation put on them yesterday, and the problems were they had 1,200 text messages and phone calls that were not allowed to different recruits. Maybe Brittany Griner was in there, you never know. But the fact of the matter is they took these messages and did not do what they were supposed to do under the college rules, and now are paying for it. And after winning a championship for the women's basketball team, this is a big hit to their teams.
How ignorant can you be? After going 40-0, you make illegal calls to recruiters. 1,200 text messages and phone calls. You make illegal calls to recruiters. How stupid can you be? You go 40-0, undefeated, win a championship, and then you go and do something.
Hey, how do you think she went 40-0?
Completely asinine like that. It was, yeah, you're exactly right. But I mean, that's ridiculous. And yeah, they also took away scholarships, Ryan.
Yeah, women's basketball will lose 2 scholarships and men's will lose 1. So not only did they take a hit for this 3-year probation, but these scholarships they're losing could be a big toll on their team. Bobby Petrino was finally fired yesterday after the 6-month-long affair he had with a 25-year-old work associate, Jessica Durrell. And she also had a fiance. Bobby Petrino has 4 children and is married. And he got her on to the athletic department, got her the job, used $20,000 worth of money that the athletic department had to get her this job in this position. What do you think? What do you guys think about this? This is ridiculous.
She was, of the 159 candidates to get that job, she was among the 3. And the athletic department actually said it was a very quick hire for her. She's 25. He just had a daughter graduate from the University of Louisville. He has 2 other kids going to the University of Louisville. He has a daughter that's married. She's young enough to be his daughter.
That's gross.
Sick.
Yeah, disgusting.
And he's not a good-looking man either.
Well, he's had a lot of issues just as a coach in the past, not very trustworthy to begin with the Falcons, up and leaving after his first season without letting anybody know in the middle of the night.
That's just completely unprofessional.
Just not a trust. He lied to his athletic director, his boss, about the situation when he got in that accident on the motorcycle, claiming that it was just him. Yet his mistress was on the motorcycle with him. I can't imagine why you would want a guy like him back, besides the fact, yeah, he wins games, but he's not trustworthy, and you can't have that in your school.
And the mistress was engaged, so there's like 3 tales to this story. She's engaged to an Arkansas employee. She's an Arkansas employee and a former Arkansas volleyball player.
Yeah.
So it's just, who knows if more's going to come out of this. I mean, 6 months, a lot can happen in 6 months.
Well, yeah, I mean, they exchanged over 4,000 text messages and 300 phone calls. From, a younger girl's perspective, I don't know what you could talk to a 50-year-old man about.
51-year-old man.
51, sorry, 51. Like, what kind of intimate conversation could you possibly have and mean it besides, give me your wallet, sugar daddy? Like,
He wanted his money.
I mean, why else would you talk to someone who could be your dad? I don't.
The funniest thing is, though, these text messages and some phone calls were put out mornings before the big games against Alabama's, Auburn's, LSU's. Can't imagine what they're texting about, because he's probably not looking for offensive plays from her. Maybe something after the game, though.
No, it's ridiculous, the fact that he can do that. And Jeff Long, the athletic director, you mentioned that he lied on Tuesday in the press conference. He said he made the decision, a conscious decision, to mislead the public on Tuesday, and in doing so, negatively affected the reputation of the University of Arkansas and our football program. You really can't sum it up any better than that. Bobby Petrino, a scumbag.
Continuing with all these controversies, Ozzie Guillen, the Miami Marlins manager, 5-game suspension for the controversial statement about Fidel Castro, the Cuban leader, or once leader, and saying things such as he admires Castro for living this long and being the leader he was. And all these Cuban people are wanting him to be be fired from the Marlins. But what do you all think about this now that he's gotten a 5-game suspension and all these Cuban people want him to be fired?
He says it in Miami.
Opened up a can of worms. Yeah, that's the worst. In
Miami.
Yeah. How could you do that?
Yeah, even I think it was the president of the Marlins said he said it in the worst possible place you could make that comment.
That's exactly right.
You know, I mean, it was horrible timing, a horrible place, and even though there was sarcasm behind it and he didn't mean it, I mean, it's just like you couldn't have said it in a worse.
That's what you get with Ozzie. He's gonna run his mouth. He's gonna say controversial things. That's what I mean. They knew what they were getting into when they hired him. Really, I didn't think he'd make a comment about idolizing Fidel Castro. I mean, that's the equivalent to Adolf Hitler in Germany. That's ridiculous. But
I guess at this point, you can't not expect something from Ozzie Guillen.
No.
He's one of those managers who's going to say what he thinks, and he'll just say it without thinking about it.
It's true. I mean, that's what you get. That's the whole Ozzie package.
Well, something I found really interesting was ESPN did a poll on people, like how they felt before his apology and after, and more people wanted him fired after his apology
Ozzie?
than they did before. Yeah.
Ozzie's not going to be fired.
Well, no, he's not, but they took a poll of the Cubans who were upset about it, and more wanted him fired after his
It's probably
apology
because they
before.
probably feel like that's not a sincere apology because of what he said.
No.
He's trying to go
It's
back on it.
Yeah.
The number of times I've seen him apologize, he hasn't been sincere. He's basically been making fun of whoever wants him to apologize.
Yeah.
And continuing on in golf, the women's golf team won their first ASUN Conference Championship in program history on Tuesday. So definitely a big win for KSU. Also, the men's team won its third tournament this season, capturing the Memphis Intercollegiate. Go Owls! Once again, Shauna Mayer's here for the question of the week. I have Zach, and he's going to help us out. How are you doing today, Zach?
Doing good.
Good. Well, we have the question here. Hypothetically, let's say Mark Richt and Freddie Gonzalez led their teams to a very successful season. Then you find out that they've been having an affair with someone in the front office. Would you still want them to be your team's coach from a fan perspective?
I would, but at the same time, I'd have lost a lot of respect for them. I think a lot of students and student athletes would probably say the same thing, that they would lose their respect, and I think eventually they would have to leave, just for the fact that you would have to bring in someone who is well respected, who people can actually go to and not be so secretive.
Okay. Thanks, Zach. There you have it. We have another volunteer for a question of the week. We have Sam. How are you doing, Sam?
Good.
Great. Next question. Hypothetically, let's say Mark Richt and Freddie Gonzalez led their teams to a very successful season. Then you find out that they've been having an affair with someone in the front office. Would you want them to be your team's coach from a fan's perspective?
Yeah, I still think that I would. What they do during the off season doesn't really have to do with their coaching ability. So
you pretty much would still support it.
Yep.
Now we have Lindsay to help us out. Lindsay, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Same question.
Okay.
Hypothetically, let's say that Mark Richt or Freddie Gonzalez led their teams to a very successful season. Then you find out that they've been having an affair with someone in the front office. Would you still want them to be your team's coach from a fan's perspective?
I have to say, strictly from a fan's perspective, yes. As a person, they may not be that great, but from the sports aspect, I like them for their coaching abilities, not for their moral, sense of direction.
Okay. Well, there's Lindsay's answer.
Big week in golf for the state of Georgia. Bubba Watson wins. Both Kennesaw teams win. Keep it here on Outside the Box as we next week talk more about the Braves season. Let's see if they come up to a 500 record as they open up the season at home tomorrow night. Thank you for watching Outside the Box.